Follow and subscribe Stenolab India for correct pronunciation, accurate speed and clear voice. Legal dictation. Exercise number 6. Speed 100 words per minute. Get ready for the dictation. Start. The doctrine of stare decisis, a fundamental principle in common law jurisprudence, mandates that courts adhere to established legal precedents when deciding cases with similar facts and issues. Derived from the Latin phrase, stare decisis et non quieta movia, which translates to stand by things decided and not to disturb the settled, this doctrine promotes consistency, stability, and predictability in the legal system. Under binding precedent, lower courts are obligated to follow the decisions of higher courts within the same jurisdiction. For example, in the United States, decisions issued by the Supreme Court are binding on all inferior courts, including circuit courts of appeal and district courts. Similarly, state appellate courts set binding precedent for lower state courts within their jurisdiction. Deviation from a controlling precedent may render a decision subject to reversal on appeal. In contrast, persuasive precedent refers to judicial decisions that, while not binding, may influence a court's reasoning. This includes rulings from courts in other jurisdictions, scholarly legal opinions, and dicta, non-binding statements made in judicial opinions that do not directly affect the case's outcome. Courts may consider persuasive precedent when addressing novel legal issues or resolving ambiguities in statutory or case law. Despite the general adherence to precedent, courts may overturn prior decisions when legal, social, or economic conditions warrant a departure from established jurisprudence. The Supreme Court has occasionally overruled precedent in landmark cases, particularly when prior rulings were deemed inconsistent with constitutional principles or evolving societal norms. For instance, in Brown v. Board of Education, 1954, the Supreme Court overruled Plessy v. Ferguson, 1896, which had upheld the doctrine of separate but equal under the Equal Protection Clause of the 14th Amendment. The court recognized that segregation in public schools violated constitutional guarantees, demonstrating that adherence to stare decisis is not absolute when fundamental rights are at stake. Courts may also engage in distinguishing precedent, wherein a prior case is deemed inapplicable due to factual or legal distinctions. This technique allows courts to uphold existing precedent while reaching a different conclusion based on the specific circumstances of a case. Statutory interpretation often interacts with stare decisis, particularly when courts construe legislative enactments. Under the rule of lenity, ambiguous criminal statutes are interpreted in favor of the defendant. Additionally, courts apply canons of construction, such as ejusdem generis, limiting general terms by specific terms preceding them, and expressio unius est exclusio alterius, express mention of one thing excludes others, to resolve statutory ambiguities. In civil litigation, attorneys frequently rely on precedent to craft legal arguments, citing prior decisions to support claims of negligence, breach of contract, or constitutional violations. Judges, in turn, We precedent carefully to ensure that rulings align with established legal principles and public policy considerations. Ultimately, stare decisis functions as the bedrock of a common law system, fostering judicial efficiency and ensuring that similarly situated litigants receive equal treatment under the law. While the doctrine promotes continuity, courts retain the discretion to adapt the law to evolving societal needs, striking a balance between legal stability and progressive reform. Stop.